What is up, everybody? How are you guys doing today? Hopefully it is good. On today's video, we are going to be tackling HHN 28 improvement list. I asked on Twitter for everybody's sort of improvement suggestions if you did attend Halloween Horror Nights 27 and you wanted HHN 28 to be improved in certain ways. Now, I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the likes, the retweets, the comments. I took it all in consideration and densed it down into 5 categories that we're going to go through. I talked with the guys, the cool guys, the bros, over at Vision.
And I'm Tim.
That was a little weird, so let's never mention that name again. Yes, so starting out, we are going to be talking about number 5 on this list is the icon/marketing department. Halloween Horror Nights 27 was obviously a mixed bag between the commercials, between the advertisements, between the clock on the website, between the hints. When you got to the park, none of it made sense except for one zone that sort of had some tie-in stuff to the website, but that was it. Isaac, the creator, stated, more icon representation. It really just adds the special touch and helps for the Halloween Horror Nights backstory. I couldn't agree more with that. We don't really have to have an icon per se, but at least do something to tie it all in together, or else it's just going to feel like shambles. Now, Joe Harden stated, the marketing was very inconsistent this year. The countdown clock was a big letdown with minimal hints and a build-up. There seemed to be a real disconnect in that department. We just needed something more at the event overall to tie everything together. I hate to say that we need to dive back to Halloween Horror Nights 18 and how we had an icon and a story on the website and how all the zones and all the houses made sense together. It all basically was one complete package. I think that's what we're kind of missing at the event. We're kind of just floating from year to year now. Up next, we are going to be tackling merchandise. It definitely needs some reworking. Now, we have the Halloween Horror Nights custom store. That's kind of become standard, but also becoming standard is the merch that we have year round. It is the same stuff. It's like you're going to expect a Tarvis, the coffee mug, 2 or 3 different shirts, IP merches, a hoodie, you know, some keychains and pins. Sarah Harding says, I feel like the merch is pretty similar every year. I would love to see a new and improved set of merch, better quality shirts and collectibles. I still buy it every year, but would love to get something worth the money. You can see behind me, most of the stuff is collectible stuff like the park maps. I consider that stuff worthwhile, but most of the merch I really don't ever really consider that worth. You know, the coffee mug, sure, I usually get that, but the rest of the stuff, I care less. Maybe it's just me, but I would love to see the old park maps. If you can see behind me over here, I have some of the park maps and some of them, the rest of them are in boxes, but I would love to have the chance to buy older park maps. Just reprint them, sell them for like $2-3. People are gonna buy stuff like that, so easy money. Also, if they do like a DVD, maybe at the end of the year, sell it in the park, sell it online, that way people overseas can have a chance to buy it. Who wouldn't buy a DVD of each year, especially if that was your first year attending, or you loved that year and you loved all the zones and houses and you want to have some, you know, footage of it on video as opposed to just everything being on YouTube. Up next, we are going to be tackling food. Food is biggest issue besides the next one. It's one of the bigger issues I've heard all the time. Dr. Jimmy said, how come they don't do cocktails inspired by haunted houses and scare zones? I don't see why they would not do that, you know, simple idea. They can do it with like their own creations, at least like the scarecrow. That could have been something like a candy corn type of thing and related to the house. That would be kind of cool. Joshua says, all I ask is that they keep raising the bar. The event has been getting better and better since 25. I'd hate to see the rest of them. What a huge success it has been recently. Also, make pizza fries available in every corner of the park. And that was a very big issue, was about the pizza fries, is that they were only in one location and you had to like go over there and it was always a line. And even though I didn't really care for them, I know plenty of other people did. Plenty of other people liked them. Why didn't they have them all around the park, especially in the restaurants? You should have been able to get them. Doesn't make sense to me. Also, we need mobile ordering. Say it with me.
Mobile ordering, please.
Theme park down the road does it. Works flawless. I think this would help so many problems at Halloween Horror Nights. Imagine you're hungry, you're on the other side of the park, put the mobile order in for Fast Food Boulevard, walk over there, pick up your food, you don't have to wait in the line, in and out, simple. It would solve a lot of stuff. Please fix Finnegan's. From what my friend Jason has stated about Finnegan's is Finnegan's needs to return to its old way. Instead, set up liquor only tents with increased security around the park. That's got to be fixed. Also, I would like to see better food options at Universal, period, but also for Halloween Horror Nights, maybe in all of the locations that serve food inside, there could be just a lighter menu, smaller menu, maybe a value menu for everybody. And the next topic is the biggest, probably the biggest one. Everybody talked about the zones. Zones is the next one. Friend of the channel, Awkward Arsic, check out his channel if you haven't already, especially if you love Halloween Horror Nights, you love horror, you love, haunts, you love Hollywood, because he covers Hollywood event as well as Orlando event, but mainly the Hollywood event. So check out his channel if you haven't already. He says to have more aggressive actors in the scare zones that don't stop and take photos with everyone. Don't get me wrong, there's a place for that, but it should only be a select few scare actors. And we also have Andy Williams, who's also a fan of the channel, always commenting. Thank you for the support. Overall, I feel the zones were lacking this last year. They kind of felt like an afterthought, except for Trick or Treat, and too many selfies. Also, the food needs to be amped up a little. Finnegan's has the best options. The carts are a little disappointing for the most part. These zones, they were a little wishy-washy, and I have to be careful with my words because I haven't reviewed all of the zones yet. The photography issue, me being a photographer at the event and loving to take photos, it's a very tricky one, because if you say don't stop for photos, but you guys love when we take photos, so we can't get special treatment because that wouldn't be fair to everybody else who pays for, a ticket for the event. That's up to Universal at the end of it. They're either going to say it's a yes or no, and they have to obey by the rules of telling, the scare actors no photos whatsoever, or they do love this whole marketing aspect of using a hashtag and promoting the event. Gavin says, no photos with scare actors ruins the experience. You're walking through a scare zone and everyone is taking a selfie with the actors. Clown zone is the only scary zone I've been in. My boy Zach, if you know, Zach Attack, he says, I want to see the zones in different areas. Change it up about the lighting. I would love to see the zones go in different areas, even where they have the carnival games. He would like to see maybe that be a zone. And I get that. I was hearing that from the Bro Vision guys plenty of times, but the problem with that is you can't have that area be a zone, because you have to remember there are queue lines for the houses, and it just doesn't work when you have queue lines and then you have like characters running around mix, and then you got a restaurant there and then people coming out of the restaurant, and they're walking now into a zone and then getting, you know, bamboozled or hit by drunks. We used to have Sting Alley be a scare zone. I would love for that to come back. We used to have more roaming hordes, but we didn't this last year. And the final one is, I just wanted to, I guess this is just a toss-up. It's just called the no-no. So it's basically all the things that people were suggesting and things that we probably want that we're not gonna get is just on the no-no list. So photos, that's a no-go. The liquor or the beer or alcohol for the event to stop, that's a no-no. Us to film inside the houses, how come Hollywood can do it, how come we can't? That's just something that the creative you know, who's in charge decides that. Murdy is okay with it, our team is not okay with that, so that's never going to change. They only allow media and Universal Media themselves to film inside the houses, so that's never going to happen. Parker TGE says, I felt too safe. At no point did I legitimately fear for my life. They need a little improvement on that. And some people say the houses need to be scary. Some people say the houses need to be a little bit safe. I think they just find a good balance. I like where they have it now, and I like more houses like Scarecrow, but then I like more fun houses. So that has been it for this Halloween Horror Nights HHN 28 improvement. If you enjoyed yourself, make sure to hit a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave it down in the comment section. What are some of your improvements for HHN 28? And I will see you guys on the next video. Good afternoon, good night, whenever you're watching this. Zombie Chris is out of here.